This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
No.
Y'all,
Just
this
stop.
is a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. Happy Thursday, everybody. Feeling good?
Feeling good.
I didn't really care. I just wanted a little pivot to go get to the prompter.
Okay.
I'm kidding. I love you guys. I love you guys.
I thought you were interested in my feeling good.
No, I was being mean, which brings us to our next story.
Oh.
Ellen DeGeneres is vowing to leave Hollywood after she's done taping her stand-up special for Netflix. Ellen is currently on tour where she says she was, quote, kicked out of show business for being mean. See? Referring to the allegations that the Ellen Show fostered a toxic workplace. During one of the shows, Ellen said she can be demanding and tough. She said, quote, I am a strong woman. I am many things, but I am not mean. While taking questions from the audience, Ellen shot down the idea of returning to movies or even Broadway. She said, quote, this is the last time you're going to see me after my Netflix special is done.
No, I'm done.
She's done.
When I saw this, I was really disappointed because I was thinking if this was going to be her last stand-up tour, she could have, and I don't know if this is her truth, but I think that she would have some valid reasons for why she had hostility towards the business and how they treated her as a gay woman. Like, everybody's cool now. It wasn't cool when she came out. I'm sure her agent was like, well, your career is over. Can you imagine the death threats that she got? But she persevered through that. But there's some damage that's taken with that. And I would think some resentment from her largely Midwestern audience that initially was very distasteful of her. So if there was some anger there, I could understand it, being human, and I would have liked to hear her be honest and funny. And she had a really interesting opportunity to do that. But just saying everybody's mean, so I'm leaving, I don't know. I think she missed it.
But I don't think that's what's happening. I think what's happening is she has decided that this is going to be her final stand. This is going to be her final, say, and then she's going to disappear, which I commend her for. Mm-hmm. More people should take a cue from this because we are in an industry where people build you up in order to tear you down. I'm not saying that the woman is the nicest person on the planet. She doesn't need to be the nicest person on the planet. I have a news flash. Nobody is that nice. Nobody. They can act like they're nice. They can be sweet as pie. To your face, they can do X, Y, or Z. I'm telling you right now, I do not trust people who are that nice, okay? I just don't trust it.
Well, she's not that nice.
I don't trust it, exactly. So I'm saying what she's doing.
But you can't abuse your employees.
Obviously, we know that to be true. But we also know that the buck didn't start or stop with her.
Very true.
And people feel differently about that. I just feel that when a production is that large, that it can't be one person's fault from top to bottom.
Yeah, I think you're right. She said herself, I set myself up for being that really sweet woman. And then things went, I think what happened is things went around Ellen in her studio that she did not know about that were really abusive to people I know well from LA. And those people were fired after an internal investigation, 3 main people. I think she should have realized that she had the responsibility if the buck stops with her. It's the Ellen Show. But I also understand that she wanted to sort of let other people delegate that. And it got her in trouble. And unfortunately, she wants to leave. My favorite stand-up comedian is Ellen DeGeneres. Here and Now is why I got into stand-up. I'm super disappointed, but I also understand she's done and had it and is probably going to go off and do her Gorilla Reservation, which she loves, and be with Portia and not deal with this, which is fine.
I just find it hard to believe. I'm looking in a room of, I don't know, maybe there's 30 of us in here. Let's triple that staff. Let's say that there's 90 people in this room. You're telling me if 6 or 7 people were being abused to the point where they were able to bring legal action, nobody on this panel would know about it.
That's what I
Nobody
always
would
said.
Talk about it in the break room. No one would say, that was a weird interaction I heard in the hallway. The thing is, we want to have these conversations like they're taking place on some sterile legal pad. This is real life. When people are cheating, when people are drinking too much, people talk around the office. Ellen dang well knew something was going down in there. And if you didn't, then you should lose your job. When your name is on the placard, you
the
better
buck should
know.
Stop with you.
Yeah, you better know if 3 or 4 people feel like they're being abused.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that.
Talk to me.
I'm kind of on Ellen's side, and I kind of applaud her too. Like Erica said, walk out with your head high. Don't worry about what other people said. You did a lot of good and broke a lot of barriers and glass ceilings throughout your career. Focus on that. A lot of people just hear rumors on the internet and you think that's who the person is. I don't think that's who she is. And I don't know if she knew about those. I think a lot of people go to Hollywood and they find broken dreams. And some people aren't getting where they want, and so they blame other people for their misfortunes. And I think Ellen is one of them. They were on the Ellen show. They got that opportunity to be on one of the biggest show on the planet, and then they weren't where they wanted to be with their career, and I think they were disgruntled in some sort of way. I don't know if Ellen indirectly had to do with that. It was a weird place the last 4 years. You weren't allowed to have beers with your coworkers or talk to them or look at them sideways, and I think that's where all this stemmed from. Now she can't walk away from the business with her head held high like she wanted to do. She's going out disgruntled, but she needs to look at herself and look at the people she loves, Portia, and her friends and family, and know she did a lot more good in this world than she did bad. But everyone's focused on that one thing, and we need to get through that era. This era is over, and I'm happy for what Ellen did, including my free trip to Australia.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you, Ellen.
Oh, yeah,
Take what Jeff says with a grain of
Hey,
salt.
I could easily be bought out. So, coming up on DBL, Alec Baldwin's manslaughter trial continues today after both sides gave opening statements. Does the prosecution or defense have the better argument? And we're talking with Blair Underwood all about working with Nick Cage in a new horror movie. Welcome back to DBL. Alec Baldwin's Rust trial resumed today. So yesterday, attorneys delivered opening statements. Baldwin's defense attorney carefully laid out their case as to whether Baldwin should be held responsible for the fatal shooting on the set. So let's take a look at that.
This was an unspeakable tragedy, but Alec Baldwin committed no crime. He was an actor acting, playing the role of Harlan Rust. An actor playing a character can act in ways that are lethal, that just aren't lethal on a movie set.
So on the other side, prosecutors laid out their case. Let's watch.
When someone plays make-believe with a real gun in a real-life workplace, And while playing make-believe with that gun violates the cardinal rules of firearm safety, people's lives are endangered, and someone could be killed.
So the special prosecutor also played for the court footage from the moments after the shooting. It shows people rushing to provide care and get the injured into ambulances. There was also this potential crucial piece of evidence from a cameraman who was there. Let's take a look.
How many people you think were in here when it happened?
3, maybe 4.
4?
Maybe.
Okay. So 2 more other than you 2?
Reed, as soon as I see him, he
Reed?
camera operator. Reed, yes sir.
Okay, who else?
Reed Russell was here. Alec Baldwin was the actor on set that pulled the trigger.
All right, so Baldwin maintains his innocence and says he did not pull the trigger. But Al, I don't think it matters if he did or didn't pull the trigger.
I can't believe we're talking about this, Jeff. You know, I've been thinking about this all morning. I was like, you know, in Saving Private Ryan, Tom Hanks throws a grenade. He's on a movie set. Should he expect that it's 50-50 that it's a live grenade? You're on a movie set. You're on a place where you're like, professionals work here.
What if he mishandled that grenade?
You shouldn't. It shouldn't be live. So it should be like a pair.
Of course not. But the armorer, again, has been charged and convicted, so that is taken care of. But 2 people were in this accident, and one of them was holding a weapon and did something that went against the rule of pulling a trigger if he's looking or pointing at someone.
But real quick, let me interrupt.
Wait.
You're not at a house party.
I know.
It's your job to
and
do
your
that.
job is to
I
not
just want
pull
to say
the
that.
trigger
Yeah.
on a movie set. That's a major thing we all know as being actors.
Well,
in
but
Hollywood.
I've pulled the trigger on a movie set.
That's not true, though.
The
Your
cardinal
job
not
isn't-
to point and not to pull the trigger.
The cardinal rule of gun, or handling
safety.
a gun is to not ever point the gun at someone and not have your finger on the trigger, which means you lay it against the side where that little loop is, and you don't actually have it unless you plan on pulling the trigger. I don't know how those rules apply on a movie set that the entire point is to make it look like you're pulling the trigger.
But at that point, he wasn't supposed to pull the trigger, which is why Alec Baldwin is denying he ever pulled the trigger in the first place.
It shouldn't have mattered
Let me
either
finish.
way.
The reason he's denying it is because it does. Because if it is involuntary manslaughter, that's negligence on his part to have had his hand too close and on the trigger, as Erica said. Now, an FBI guy came and said there's no way someone handling that gun could not have pulled the trigger. He didn't mean to do it, but if he did, that's negligent, and there's consequences to that.
But Tori, you're a semi-lawyer.
Yeah.
The defense didn't get a chance to examine that gun.
I agree with that. That's
so
an
that
issue.
should be thrown
that's an
out.
issue.
Hey, the FBI should be seen as an independent investigation. Now, I agree with you. If I'm the defense, I'm going to say, yo, we didn't get a chance on that. I'm going to appeal, and I think there's grounds for appeal on that. But the FBI is saying there's no way that weapon went off without someone making an action. And that action, although negligent, is consequential in terms of the law.
I'm going to say this. I am no Alec Baldwin fan, okay? I'm not like showing up with signs or anything. But the fact that they threw out his role as the producer on this film and he's only being tried as an actor.
I agree.
If they find this man guilty, there's going to be... I don't feel like that's justice.
That's what negligence is when you have a weapon. You have to be extra careful.
I'm negligent to the world. I don't know what's happening.
We know.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. All right. Maybe we'll be right back. I'm not sure. I don't know. Yeah.
Welcome back. From film to TV to theater, Blair Underwood has done it all, and I swear this man is aging like a fine wine. Earlier, he stopped by to talk with us about the new movie he has with Nicolas Cage. Take a look.
Is it scary being a lady FBI agent?
Yeah. Take a nice long look. A letter was left with the bodies. Signed with one word.
Ooh, Blair Underwood, welcome to DBL.
It is great to be here. Thank you for having me.
You know it.
Oh, man. I'm just going to keep myself together. You were part of the formative years of my life. Crush Groove. Changed my life forever.
What?
Okay.
You're taking it back.
Crush Groove changed my life. It was a template for my life, okay? Let's just talk about your expansive career. But this is the second time you've played an FBI agent. Is there any type of training that you've done to prepare?
You know, not really for this. I mean, previously I had done some training, but this is so different. Long Legs is so different. It's a horror film. If you haven't seen it, you know, there are those, I will say, that are called critics who are calling it the scariest film of the decade or of the year. So Nicolas Cage plays a serial killer. I play an FBI agent who's tracking him with Micah Monroe, who's the female lead. She's really the protagonist. But I've never done an FBI agent in the context of a horror film like this. It's the first real horror film I've done. You know, serious horror film. I did Bad Hair, which was a comedy, which I love doing, but this is very different. I'm a horror fan, movie fan. Exorcist, The Omen, the classics I'm talking about, Rosemary's Baby. So to get to do a horror film like this for the first time, I'm all in.
And Long Legs is about, you said, serial killer played by Nicolas Cage, but his transformation has been kept largely a secret. So please tell us, what can we expect? Can you give us some tea?
Woo! I can't give you too much tea, but what I can tell you is that you got your tea, and I just finished my tea. Come on. But what I can tell you is, you know, Nicolas Cage came to the set. He's a method actor. So this is a serial killer, the type we've never seen. The marketing has been phenomenal. As you said, you don't see his face. You won't recognize him. You won't. He doesn't sound like himself, doesn't look like himself. And what he brings to the screen is something that people are saying is unnerving. It's unsettling. It stays with you. So it's some pretty wild stuff.
Scary.
Oh yeah. Oh no, it's crazy. You should, if you read some of the reviews, it's got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes right now, which is amazing.
Wow.
But it's all largely due, obviously, to our director Oz Perkins, but to Nicolas Cage's performance.
Amazing.
What's it like working with Nick Cage? Because he's so eccentric. Did you learn anything from him, or vice versa? How does that work? I couldn't even imagine Nick Cage being right in front of me.
Yeah, well, you know, our paths didn't cross a whole lot, but I would tell you that he was in character from the time he hit that set to the time he left. So he didn't really talk to anybody.
Whoa.
I mean, he just kind of came and did his thing, which is, it's pretty off the wall.
Man, that's wild. I couldn't, I'd be like, hey, Nick. Oh, sorry, I'm not supposed to talk to you.
Yeah.
I'm not Nick right now.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I like it.
I've always wanted to ask, is it annoying when somebody's being in character all the time?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, you know, when you're just near the trailers and you're like, bro, I just want to know if the coffee stand is set up yet. You don't have to, you have to use that.
Like, man, I just want to know what you have for breakfast.
Yeah, come on. Yeah.
But no, on the real though, I respect it. I've done that myself sometime, only because I was playing a character who had to do who was deaf and mute. So I really needed to get into it to feel it. But I knew I annoyed some people. They say, man, I just want to know what you want for lunch. What's your lunch order? And
Right.
I can't talk about it. I can't. So, I tend to go with it, but I get it.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk to you about this because this is, you know, away from Hollywood and show business. It's just some real life stuff, man. You just got married, so congratulations on that. Your wife, Josie.
Yeah.
So,
thank you.
I want to ask you, like, as a newly married man, what advice would you give to any married man that's about to take the same step you just did?
Good one.
Man, I try not to give advice. I'm newly married because that's why I need to be giving advice. But no, we just celebrated June 24th, our 1-year anniversary, and It's been amazing. But we've known each other 43 years, so there's so much history and continuity. And I think if anything, I'd say make sure you know the person.
Yeah.
What it takes to know that person, it may take 40 years, it may take, you know, a year. You know, who knows? But it's really knowing each other and trusting each other. That's what I found.
Blair, I've been with my woman for for 15 years. I was going to give you a little piece of advice.
When you were sitting in the Corvette.
No, now my whole joke's ruined. I was going to say the best piece of advice I'd give you is be a method actor. You're right.
Yes.
I'm wrong.
Yes, dear.
Stay in the zone all the time.
Yes, dear.
Yes, dear.
Yes, dear.
You're right.
There you
dear.
go. Stay in character.
I can attest to that. It works in my marriage too. Blair, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations. DBL Nation, you can see Longlegs in theaters starting tomorrow. Thank you again. We'll be right back. So cool. Thanks, Blair.
Awesome.
Take care. My pleasure. All right.
Welcome back. We've got some great products from our friends at Morning Save. Check them out.
Steph, what do you have for us today? Because I'm shopping and I'm ready to go.
Up first today, we've got the Sunbeam Wrist Blood Pressure Monitor with a voice broadcast. The blood pressure monitor announces easy to understand, clinically tested, accurate results out loud. You can easily track and store up to 90 readings. Normally this is $40.
Okay, not bad.
We've got it for $12.99, which is saving everyone 68%. Up next, we've got the 2-pack Pure Hyper Audio mini speakers. Ooh. And with this deal, you can pair the speakers together if you need a louder sound. Super Summer Steals are some of the hottest deals that we will have all summer, so do not wait for this one. They usually are $25 each.
Okay.
We've got a 2-pack for $10.
For both?
For both of them. So that's saving 80%. And then next up, we've got the 2-pack Villanovum Zero Shift Plush Gel Fiber Pillow. They're created with this super plush gel that's been tailored to ensure maximum comfort for any sleeping position. Normally, these range between $130 to $150.
Wow.
We've got a 2-pack, however, for $29. That's saving you 81%. And last but not least today, one of our absolute favorites, it is a Cuisinart touchscreen 14-cup programmable coffee maker.
Whoa.
Inside there's a gold tone coffee filter, which means no paper filters are needed, so it means it's really easy to clean after use. Normally this is $130.
Okay.
We, however, have got it for $79.99. That is saving 38%. And, you know, having a good cup of coffee in the morning, Tori, really sets you up for the day, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. All right, guys, head on over to morningsave.com to snag all of these amazing products at the lowest prices, or you can scan that QR code. You can see it. It's right on your screen. It will take you directly to these products on Morning Save's website. Thank you so much, Steph.
All right, before we go, we have some sad news. Actress Shelley Duvall has passed away. Her longtime partner, Tom, confirmed Shelley died in her sleep at her home in Texas due to complications from diabetes. She was 75 years old. Shelley was best known as the unhinged wife to Jack Nicholson's deranged character in the 1980 classic The Shining. She did such a good job in that. And the same year, she starred as Olive Oyl with Robin Williams in Popeye in 2016. She appeared on Dr. Phil saying she struggled with mental illness. She briefly returned to acting in 2022 for the movie The Forest Hills. You didn't see her a lot, but when you did,
she made an impact.
She was really good.
Kubrick was famously really rough on her for The Shining, and she really pulled out just a fantastic performance that's overshadowed by Jack Nicholson.
But he did that to get that out of her.
Absolutely, and she killed it.
May she rest in peace. We'll see you guys tomorrow.